Alright, so this video, hopefully we'll get in all the problems. Alright, we're going for 14 to 27. I doubt I make it in one, but we're going to try. Okay, let's get it going here. Number 14 of the cumulative review, number 2. How exciting. Okay, first one. Given the parent function g of x equals the square root of x, describe the following transformations. Okay, please write your transformations in order that you perform those operations. So remember, when we do these problems, we work from the inside out. So the first thing I want to look at is my inside. All right, in the inside I have this negative x. Remember, when x is negative inside of our function, I reflect over my y-axis. Reflect y-axis. Okay, keep working out. Second step is that plus 2, so I move up 2. Okay. 15, inside out, first thing, plus 3. So I move it, remember on the inside it's the opposite of what you think, I move it to the left. 3, keep working, attached to my function is the negative on the outside, so instead of reflecting over the y, I'm going to reflect over the x-axis. Wow. Oh boy. Lastly, move that down. Down 5. That's sick. Okay. Let's try another one. Inside out. First one, move it right. 9er. Step 2, the 4 attached, so I'm going to multiply. I'm going to use this symbol here. Multiply y by 4. Y values, remember that's our y values. Third step, after you multiply, move it up. 7. Okay. Only one step here. The 6 is attached to the x, so it's on the inside, which means I'm going to divide x by 6. All of my x values. Alright. Given the graph, apply the transformation, okay, of h of x. So this is going to be hard to fit on one page. Hold on. Alright, here we go. Remember, write down our original. I write down the major points. Okay, you can write more points than you want. Write down all the major terms. Okay, if you want to, feel free to write down more than that. Okay. First one I got negative 2, 2. Next one is negative 1, negative 1. Next is 1 comma negative 2. Last point is 3, 0. Okay, remember, do this as order as they appear. So my first step is to move right 1. Alright, I'm going right 1, which means I'm adding 1 to all my x values. Alright, so go ahead and do that. Alright, so as I move right 1, okay, if I move right 1, remember you're adding 1, I'm moving up 1 unit. Alright, so here's where your points should have been. Okay, keep working from the inside out. We took care of this. Now let's take care of the 2. So we multiply y by 2. So go ahead, multiply the y's by 2, pause the video. Alright, after multiplying my y's by 2, remember we will multiply our y's by 2 because this 2 is attached to the outside. When there's a number attached to the outside, that means we're performing operations on our outputs, which are y values. Okay. And our last step here is to take care of this plus 3, which is up 3. If I'm moving up 3, that means I'm adding 3 to all my y values. My inputs are not changing, just my outputs. So this becomes negative 1, 7, 0, 1, 2, negative 1, and 4, 0. Alright, go ahead and plot those. I'm going to go ahead and plot those. Negative 1, negative 7 sorry, that should be a 3 there. I knew that something was up. So negative 1 comma 7 is all the way up there. Alright, you can add some more dashes in there for you. 5, 6, 7. Okay, 0, 1. Alright, 2, negative 1, and 4, 3. And then connect your dots. I'm doing my best here. Boom! There you go. There's 18. Let's try 19. Remember, inside out. Alright, I'm going to write down my originals. Those are my major terms. here. Again, you can write down more if you'd like. I'm just going to write the originals from now. So I got -2, -2, -1, 2, 1, -1, and 2, 3. Inside out. Inside, I have this 2 here. Okay, which means I'm going to do what? This is affecting my inputs. So I'm going to divide x by 2. Okay, go ahead and divide your x values by 2. Yes, in case you were wondering, it's okay to have fractions. Fractions are numbers too. Don't forget about that. Alright, so my next thing, inside out, I took care of this. I need to take care of that negative. So that means if it's a negative on the outside, that means I'm reflecting over my x-axis. Okay, as I reflect over my x-axis, I take this point and reflect it up here. Remember, your x values aren't changing, just your y values. Right? You're taking the opposite of all your y values. Okay, so the only thing that changed here were my outputs. Alright, I took the opposite of every single output. Okay, and our last thing we have to take care of now is this -1. So I'm going down 1. Down 1 means I'm going to subtract 1 from every single y value. So -1, 1, -1/2, -3, 1/2, 0, 1, -4. Okay, go ahead and graph those 4 points. Alright, yes, I know that this is 1/2, right? It's kind of tough to plot those points. It's a fraction, but you just kind of do your best and you kind of estimate about where it's at. Okay? Okay, next, write the equation for a linear function where f of 2 is 8 and f of -1 is 2. Remember, this is my input, this is my output. So 2 is my x, 8 is my y. -1, 2. First thing when you write a linear function, all right, you need to know your slope. So I need to do m equals 2 minus 8, y2 minus y1 over -1 minus 2. -6 over -3. The negatives cancel out and you're left over with 2. Okay? Now, I'm going to put this in point slope form first. I'm going to use this point here. Okay? Y minus 8 equals, not m, y minus 8 equals 2 times x minus 2. Remember, point slope form looks like this. Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Now you can leave it like this, or you can distribute your 2 and move the 8 over and put it in the slope-intercept form. Y equals mx plus b, which is something a lot of us are used to seeing, like that. Okay, how would I get that? Distribute the 2, and then add 8. Alright. Write the parent functions that are shown here. This is the v-shape. The v-shape gives us the absolute value function. Okay, right here, we got the disco man. Y equals x cubed. What is the domain of both functions here? Alright, my first domain here is going to be domain, alright, is our x values is -infinity to infinity. I can take the absolute value of any positive number or any negative number. My range of my parent function is different, right? Because when I take the absolute value of a negative number, I will not get a negative number. So my range must be, remember, range you read from the bottom to the top. Domain is left to right. So as I go from the bottom to the top, the lowest possible y value is 0. The highest is infinity. Okay, domain here. Alright, I can cube any number. You can cube any positive or negative number. So our domain is -infinity to infinity. Range is bottom up, bottom to the top. Alright, if I look at my range, this is going on forever, so my range is also -infinity to infinity. Okay, next part is to sketch the graph of the parent function. So, the square root, remember the square root is the swimmer's arm. Alright, so here's a rough sketch of that. Okay. Also the quadratic, which is our parabola, which is our U shape, and that should go through the center there. All right. 24, we're moving. I might get them all in. Wow, that's sick. Okay, here we go. 24 says, use the graphs for f of x and g of x to answer the following questions. So this says f minus g of 4. Remember, this is f of 4 minus g of 4. So I look to my graph of f of x, and I want, f of 4, we're going to do f in blue, we'll do g in red, go over to 4, f of 4 is 4, minus g of 4, which is 0, so your answer is 4. Part B, f of 3 divided by g of 3. Okay, f of 3 is 2, g of 3 is 1, so our answer is 2. Okay, f of 3 plus g of 0. F of 3 we know is 2, g of 0 is 4. So our answer is 6. Last one, f times g. F of 2 times g of 2. Okay, f of 2 is 0. G of 2 is 2, which just gives me 0. Let's keep going. We're having fun. Can I do in 3 minutes? Let's see. Okay, f of x minus g of x. Okay, remember I'm just subtracting my two functions here. I'm subtracting g of x from f of x. Remember when you subtract, what the heck? Alright, when you subtract, you must use those parentheses. F of x is 2x minus g of x, which is 3x minus 1. Remember there's that negative 1 there. This should be your negative. That's 2x minus 3x plus 1. So negative x plus 1. Alright, next one. F of x times h of x. F of x is 2x. 2x times h of x, which is 1 over x. You can think of this as 2x over 1. Alright, as I multiply the fractions, I multiply across the top. 2x over x. X is cancel. So my answer is 2. Last one. F of x divided by g of x. F of x is 2x, g of x is 3x minus 1. So I'll go 2x over 3x minus 1. Alright, that's going to be my answer. Okay, that's my answer here. Alright, now though I want to find its domain. Because we have a fraction, we have something in our denominator, it's our reciprocal function. Alright, remember your denominator of a fraction cannot equal 0. So I take whatever's in my denominator and set it equal to 0. Add the 1. X cannot equal 1/3. Okay? So now we want to use interval notation to write our domain. Alright, so x, I'm going to write my domain just down here. Domain. X can be any negative number. So negative infinity, all the way up to 1/3. Not including it. Pick it back up at 1/3 and go off to infinity. Alright, there are problems 14 to 27. If you have additional questions, please feel free to ask me or Mrs. Logus. I hope this helped. Happy studying. Deuces.